Good afternoon, Alycia. Looking in great shape, I must say.
Boom. Thank you.
Let me start by asking you first of all, um, what does it mean to you to be on what is going to be an historic night on September the 10th, with at least two massive fights involving yourself and obviously Michaela and Clarissa and Savannah? We're having an amazing time over here in the UK at the moment. Our England women's football team, I don't know if it's been raised with you already, are through to the finals of the European Football Championships on Sunday. It's a real big growth time for women's sport at the moment. And what does it feel like to be part of that revolution?
It feels amazing. It feels that I'm a part of history. I am a part of legacy. I'm a part of making a statement in the sport of boxing, in women's sports, just to say the least. And the fact that boxing is coming back again, and we're having these two massive big fights in London is amazing for just the sport. So I'm super excited to be a part of it.
Have you been that kind of person in your life, instrumental in bringing change and having to battle against maybe perception and of people and people saying that women shouldn't fight and it's ungraceful and all of those kind of things? Have you had that growing up?
Yeah, absolutely. I've always believed in making a change. If you're not making a change, what are you doing it for, right? I'm not just doing it to box. I'm not doing it for the money, for the belts. This is for legacy. This is for motivation for young kids coming up, for somebody to look up to. And it's to really make a change in women's boxing. Everybody has their own story, their own path. And if I can motivate one person, I'm doing something right. So
do you think that arguably a lot of the women, there's about, I'd say 20 to 30 of you at the elite end at the moment, who are all money spinners, promotional grabbers, and not yourselves, but they can promote you. There's access to it all, there's interest. Do you think the women have more interesting stories than the men very often?
Yeah, they do. We all have stories. We all have motivational stories. We all have stories where we've been knocked down, we were able to get up. With women, there's women who are mothers that are fighting. There's women who are, single, and they're making a name for themselves, myself included. And yeah, women are really making their statement and really cementing who they are in just the sport of boxing.
What is it that makes you a fighter? Were you born a fighter? Is it nurture, the way you've grown up? Is it your struggles in life? How have you come to fighting, to be a prize fighter?
Yes, I would say I'm a born fighter. I was born a fighter. I was born to live up to the challenge. I was given challenges throughout life that made me better as a woman, as an athlete. And through those challenges come defeats, comes ups and downs. But when you're able to maneuver through those and believe in yourself and have faith and believe that there's something bigger than giving up, that's huge. And that's how I was able to navigate through life at 28 right now, living my dream as a world champion and becoming undisputed at 130.
Could you single out a couple of moments in your life when you were younger that impacted on you, that made you said you're a born fighter, but that impacted on you, that made you have to go through struggles?
Yeah, absolutely. I would say one, just being a woman in life, right? We have to make our way. And I believe that just, I started wrestling, which is a male dominated sport, and then went to boxing, which is a male dominated sport. I said, I'm not going to allow my gender to, derail me on who I am as Alycia. And so I was able to, take that and use it as my motivation and become this strong woman to make a name for herself.
Were you the only girl amongst boy wrestlers when you were a teenager then? I mean, having to wrestle boys, yeah?
I was the only girl. And so that just put in my mind, like, I can do this. I can do this. And I didn't look back.
So jumping on to Michaela, I interviewed her last week. She said she's better than you in all departments. She's going to give you a boxing lesson, that your power is not something she fears because she has more power. How do you respond to, she's got like an alter ego where she gets on social media and she gets very aggressive, and she's very aggressive when she talks about you. What do you make of her as an opponent and a fighter and a person?
Like you mentioned, it's an ego. She's trying to boost her ego to make herself feel better. And she's starting to believe these things. Now, I'd be very careful if I was her. The fact that she thinks that my power isn't something that she should watch out for. Every fighter should be aware of power, right? It's a respect thing. It's not even, it just comes down to respect. And, at this point, Michaela has to build herself up. So we get this. But I know I'm the better athlete. My athleticism alone beats Michaela. This is a given. I've been in sports my whole life. And to see somebody like Michaela, to me, she's average. She's just another person I have to get through. That's it. That's how I see it.
So do you think it's an act from her?
Oh, it's definitely an act. And, because it's an act, you have to believe in that act and you have to keep that act up. So because this fight was announced from the beginning to where it's at now, she has to keep that act up. There's no going back, because now, the fight's made. September 10th is slowly approaching. So you will see.
You've obviously got great memories of fighting in the UK. It's a happy hunting ground for you. Sheffield last year, where you enacted really one of the knockouts of the year against Terry Harper. What are your memories of being in the UK? And do you enjoy the UK fans? Because we're enjoying halcyon days here with so many fans thronging to arenas. What are your memories of that event?
My memories from fighting in the UK will forever be cemented, right? The UK is a beautiful country, beautiful people. Everybody's very welcoming. And the fact that I had gotten so much respect after that fight, even in the arena, showed me that these are true boxing fans, that they were maybe rooting for Terry, but hey, we support Alycia for what she did and for her to come over here as a challenger, as an underdog, and to make a statement. And because of that, I think they respect the sport more. And, the crowds are huge. I love it. I love the UK.
Do you plan to come here early so that you're acclimatized and spend time in a UK gym while you're here? Have you chosen one?
Yes, I do plan to come early. So I'm definitely going to come early, get acclimated to the time, continue training, and come fight week, we're ready to get it on.
You are a great showwoman. We saw that in Sheffield. Do you think you'll end up stealing the show on September the 10th?
I do. I think there's a lot of anticipation on, again, who is Alycia Baumgardner? She's stepping up to the plate once again to fight another world champion in the UK. We want to see more of her. We've seen her with Terry. We've seen her defend her title. Now this is her true test. Who is she? And so with that anticipation and that excitement, it's gonna be very telling on how the show goes. So yes, I believe.
And with victory, you're obviously just a division within reach of, say, like a Katie Taylor. Is someone like Katie Taylor an ambition for you up another weight?
Yeah, absolutely. As a fighter, as a competitor, I want to fight the best. This is for legacy. This is for the sport of boxing. These fights make the sport. These fights allow for young girls to look up, to say, hey, I want to do a project on one of the best women's fights, and those fights have to be made. So absolutely.
So you'll be calling for Taylor with victory or not?
Yeah, I mean, listen, anyone who steps up to the plate, I'm ready. I love to fight.
You said just now, who is Alycia Baumgardner? And I'm fascinated by your origins. I think I'm saying it right. I don't know if it's Alicia or Alycia. I don't know if that's a a Latino influence or African American? Baumgardner sounds very much Germanic, Nordic in Europe. Who is Alycia Baumgardner? What are your origins?
So she's a Heinz 57, as they say. And, you know, my grandfather, he is German. My grandmother is Korean, Japanese. My father is African-American. So we have all these roots and just a lot of great, strong genetics coming through. And I'm excited to have all these exciting things be a part of who I am and my culture. Culture is very important to me.
No, it's clearly. And I just wonder whether, wow, what a mix.
Mm-hmm.
What a mix. So when you are having fun and you're describing yourself to your friends or within family, do you say, yeah, I've got the samurai in me, I've got the African warrior, I've got the Germanic stoicism? Do you feel all those things in your DNA when you fight?
I do. I really do. And, you know, Baumgardner means tree gardener. And I feel like, to me, that's symbolic to having strong roots, and then my Asian roots. And it just combines so well together like this. I'm like, I'm gifted for a reason. I'm just different. I'm set apart. And I know that, and I feel that. And that's why I believe my calling is a lot different than others when it comes to the sport of boxing.
Well, if I can call you child of the universe, then. So what is your message, finally, to Michaela Mayer and the British fans ahead of September the 10th at the O2 Arena?
Yes, September 10th, you are in for a rude awakening. You will see one of the best women fighters, Alycia Baumgardner, perform at the highest level and become the unified champion of the world. So make sure you tune in and make sure that you place your bets if you want to make some money.
And placing those bets, are we going to get a stoppage, a KO on the night?
You will get a stoppage. Listen, I have three options in my head. She's getting knocked out, the referee is stopping it, or her corner is throwing in the towel. Those are my only three options. And yes, sir, that's what it is.
Well, thank you for the terrifyingly beautiful interview. I appreciate your time. Yeah. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you.